Hi everyone! The following video is hopefully going to make it a little bit clearer what the differences between first past the post, or FPTP, and additional member system, AMS, are. These are both voting systems, or electoral systems, that are used in UK elections. It's important to remember that first past the post is used for UK-wide elections. So that's one when we have a general election like we did in December 2019, when we're looking at electing the leading party in the Houses of Parliament, Westminster. AMS, the additional member system, is used in the UK for Scottish elections. So that's when we're electing MSPs who will serve their time and serve their constituents in Holyrood in Edinburgh. For the purposes of this video, I have simplified things quite a lot. Basically because we don't need to know the mathematical formula that's used at higher, we don't need to know everything in depth, but you do need to understand the differences between the two. Normally AMS would have two different votes. What you're about to see, I just split up some of the characters, you'll see what I mean when you watch it, to give you a better understanding of how we would allocate seats. In first past the post, you're only electing one person for the constituency. So when you see me talk about first past the post with my gummy bears you're about to meet, you'll know that there can only be one winner. However, for AMS in Scottish elections, you can have more than one. The first winner, the constituency MSP, is the person who is won based on name. Then we always have 7 MSPs that we need to allocate. Remember, the 7 are representing a region. So, for example, the northeast of Scotland, not a small constituency. Those 7 will be decided based on the number of votes or percentage of votes that they get. So it's still important that the more votes for that party that come in, or in this case, you're going to find out pizza toppings and cake flavours, the better it is for the MSPs who want to be elected. I hope this helps you to make a little bit of sense of it. Please remember you also need to be thinking as you watch this about advantages and disadvantages of both systems. At higher, you can be asked to compare the two or to evaluate and analyse one of them. So it's really important you think, is this fair? Is it not fair? Does it give choice? Does it limit choice? Think about the things that are covered in your lessons for this week. Without further ado, meet the gummy bears. Hello everyone! We are going to look at voting systems in the UK. Now, my preference is to teach this using food, shock horror. So we're going to look at pizza toppings, tomato, mushroom, pineapple, which is a personal favourite, and pepperoni. I've decided to use 19 gummy bears. There are 18 in the higher class plus me, and none of them were harmed during the filming of this, but I cannot promise what happened afterwards. Let's look at first past the post first. Now remember, this is as simple as whoever gets most votes wins. Looking at this, pepperoni wins. Do you agree? There are only 3 votes against it, so that seems quite simple. Now, if we look at this a little bit differently, let's see how people vote when it gets a little bit more challenging to choose. What we see here is that the votes are a lot closer. Pineapple and pepperoni both have 4 votes each, 4 little gummy bears. Mushroom has 5 and tomato has 6. Now, under first past the post, that would mean that tomato wins the election. Is that fair? Pause the video if you need, but count up how many gummy bears are in the other 3 categories. If you do a little bit of quick maths, what you should find is that there are 13 who voted against tomato. Yet tomato would still win the seat, they would still become your Member of Parliament. Okay, let's try this under AMS. Now, I'm going to say I'm going to keep this simple. Normally you would have 2 votes in this, but it's just to give you a visual understanding of how something might work. And it's the same number of votes as before. Looking here at what we see on the screen, tomato wins. Under AMS, tomato would win the constituency seat. Normally this is where the second vote would come in, and there are 7 MSPs or slices of pizza we need to allocate. Mushroom has 5 votes, pineapple and pepperoni have 4 each, so we want to make the votes representative of that. It's possible in this situation that pineapple and pepperoni get 2 seats, or 2 slices of pizza each, and mushroom gets 3. It is more complicated than that, but let's keep things simple here. Right, we're going to try this again, but with cake this time. Don't get too competitive. We're going to start it with first past the post. So we're looking at white chocolate and raspberry cake, chocolate, lemon and vanilla as your options. If everybody votes for chocolate cake, in first past the post, chocolate cake wins. That's pretty straightforward, isn't it? If, however, we split the vote and we have a look at who likes what other flavours of cake, what we'll find is that chocolate has 10 votes. Each of the others have 3. That means 9 people voted against chocolate, but they still have the most, they still win the seat. Okay, let's move a few more votes. Chocolate now has 7. White chocolate has 6 votes, but remember this is first past the post. So even though chocolate only has 1 more vote, it still wins. It would still win the constituency seat. That means 12 people actually voted against it. Is that fair? That's what happens. Okay, let's have a look at this under AMS, the system used in Scottish elections. Again, this would normally be a separate vote because you get 2 ballot papers under AMS, but we are keeping it simple. So we're saying chocolate has won the constituency seat. They're going to be an MSP in Holyrood for us. When we count up the votes for other flavours, there's 6 for white chocolate and raspberry, 3 for lemon and 3 for vanilla. Again, we have 7 seats, 7 MSPs that we need to appoint. So in this case, it might make sense for white chocolate and raspberry to get 5 of the seats. Now, if nobody votes for poor vanilla here, they get no seats, and the 7 would be split between the 2 who do, so white chocolate might get 4 and lemon gets 3 seats. That in a nutshell is AMS.